Listen up. I got a secret. There are people around us that are super duper high performers. These guys are crazy. They're accomplishing more than most of us do in a year in just a few weeks or months. In most of their days, they're more successful than by the time we even wake up. And so, I want to let you in on a little secret. If you want to be a high performer, if you want to be successful at whatever you are setting yourself out to accomplish, launch a business, transform your family, lead culture, plant a church, transform the world around you, whatever you're trying to do, or if you're just trying to make it through the day, the secret lies in what happens before you check your email. The first thing is to get out of bed. This sounds so easy, right? Because the morning really doesn't start until we're out of bed. But there are so many days when we hit snooze. Does it really matter if I hit snooze? Yes, it does. Is it really life or death? Yes! It is the most important moment of the day. Why? Because I made a promise to myself. I set my alarm and I said, I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock, 5:30, 4:45, 7:15, whatever it is. I made a promise when I intentionally turned on that alarm the night before. And when I make a promise to myself and I keep that promise, I build trust. I trust that, wow, I kept a promise. Maybe I'll keep the next one. And over time, if I stack together enough things that build trust, I've now got faith in myself that I'm going to be successful at keeping my future promises. That harder thing later in the day, I'm much more set up to go and accomplish that. And so, compounding momentum is going to happen from the promises that I make myself and as I keep those promises, but also as I break those promises. When I wake up and the first thing I do is hit snooze, I just broke a promise to myself. And so later, when a much harder, much more important promise comes up, when I said, I was going to send this big email. I'm going to say, it's a little too hard. I'm not going to do it. I didn't get out of bed when I said I would, so I'm definitely not going to do this. Or I need to go apologize to my wife. Or I need to confess this sin. Or I need to take this risk. Whatever it is, I'm not ready for those things. It might be simply, I need to eat this salad at lunch and not the cheeseburger. But when I have stacked together enough things where I have broken promises to myself, the weight and the significance of those broken promises having a momentum into the future broken promises sets me up for a very difficult path. Number 2, get your body moving. Get a workout in. Get something. Now that might be as simple as 20 push-ups, or it might be as simple as a 10-second elbow plank. That matters. It might just be 5 jumping jacks. It might be a walk around the block. It might be a 5 or 10, or if you're crazy like my brother-in-law, a 20-mile run into the mountains just for fun on a normal morning. Whatever it is, we got to get moving. Our bodies have been asleep and they need shocked, woken up. And so I try to get a workout in. I try to run multiple times a week. In those days, I am much more successful. And on the days that I don't run, I'm learning that I need to get something in. If I don't have a big workout in, I need to do something small. It might just try to focus on, you want to get up to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is great. But if you can only do a minute, that's fine. If you can only do 10 seconds, it's better than nothing. The next thing is also another form of shocking our bodies is to take a cold shower. Now, there's been some pretty fascinating research done about this, and the guy that's done the most is named Wim Hof, and he's a caveman. He's this Iceman. He's crazy, and he's convinced that when we wake ourselves up with cold and we take cold showers and we embrace the cold in a certain strategic way, it actually boosts our immunity, boosts our productivity, and strengthens our minds. And so what I've been doing for a while is taking cold showers. I've convinced my kids to take cold showers now. Now, early on, I didn't take a solely cold shower. A lot of times I would start with a warm shower, and then if you're getting started, just start with a warm shower and then try to do 2 seconds of strictly cold water at the end. Then build your way up to 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. You'll notice that after 10 seconds in the cold, your body can't tell the difference, but it feels invigorated. It actually can, but it doesn't crave the hot water anymore. And then now I'm at the point now where a lot of days I go straight to the cold shower, and those days are awesome. A lot of days I'll finish my workout and I'll jump right in. And so lots and lots of performance coaches and high performing individuals focus on cold showers. And it's a gateway. It's one of those keystone habits that builds momentum for other things. It opens the door for other things. The next up is what we put into our bodies. Be intentional with what we eat. Number 4, drink water. Eat protein. That's easy. Sure, I'm okay with a cup of coffee, but if I do that first before I've had any water, that's bad news. And I'm okay with some bread. I'm okay with that, but I've got to have some protein with it. And on my best days, a lot of days, I'm drinking water and protein. No coffee, no bread. That might just be a personal preference, but I've got to give my body the things that it craves. And it craves water and protein. The number 5 thing that I have to do every single morning to succeed is to read truth, to receive truth. I wake up every single morning hell-bent. I wake up selfish. I wake up thinking about my little world, my little kingdom, me, selfishness. And I'm concerned. All my concerns are self-centered. And I need something to recalibrate me. And so, for me, my wife, my family, every single morning we're committed to reading truth. It might just be a psalm. It might just be a verse in the Bible. It's got to be something that aligns my heart with the truth of this world and the truth of who God is, who He's made me to be, what He's done, and what He's called me to live my life for. Those things I have to remember because I forget them every single morning. And as I sit and read truth, number 6 is to visualize the truth. Visualize God, an encounter with God, an opportunity to think about Him. My imagination matters. The picture that I put in my mind of me connecting with God, with a loving Father, is important. And that picture is driven by the truth that I just read. And so, meditating, visualizing, thinking about God, inhaling Him, breathing. And then, number 7 is practice gratitude. As I've set my mind on the things above, and I have visualized, and I'm essentially trying to prepare my heart, I now lead my heart by remembering the things that I'm grateful for. And oftentimes, the things that I'm focused on in my selfish thoughts are the very things that I need to be focused on in my grateful thoughts. If I'm wrestling with my house, if I've got a ton of house projects that just don't seem like they're working, or I'm frustrated with my house, I start to think, man, I wish I had a bigger house, a better house, a different house. But in gratitude, I can say, God, thank you for any house. Thank you for this house. And I think about all the blessings, all the things that I've received, the projects that have gone well, the friends that have stepped in and served us, the gifts that we have received that we did not deserve. And I am encouraged in all of those things. And so by practicing gratitude, and this is when a journal comes in handy, when we can open up a journal and we can walk through and we can journal out and write out the things that we are grateful for. They set us up. When I write them out, I actually not only am thinking them, but I'm writing them and I'm seeing them, and I may even repeat them back to myself. I'm grateful for my wife. Thank you for an incredible woman that loves you, pursues you, that is the greatest woman. Thank you that she's gorgeous. Thank you that you have connected us in the past 13 years of marriage have been wonderful. Yes, thank you, God, that you've given us perseverance, that you've helped us to get through so many hard points where I've been an idiot, where I've forgotten these things, where I've forgotten to be grateful. And thank you for these second chances, Father. Thank you for my kids. Thank you for the opportunity to wake up and see them. This gratitude moment changes our perspective from I have to do this to I get to do this. Oh, I have to do this house project. I have to take my kid to school. I have to. Shifts to, oh, I get to do this project. I get to spend time with my wife. I get to have this hard conversation with my son. It's a chance to be grateful. And as I've shared in a different video, when we put our attention on those things, the rest of the world, our perspective, looking for those things through the practice of selective attention, will start to see more of them. When I'm thinking about, and I'm grateful for how my wife has encouraged me in the warmth of my wife, I start to notice the warmth of my wife everywhere. When I'm grateful for my kids and I lead my heart to gratitude, I start to notice how great my kids are in so many ways that I overlooked before because I was in my own little world. Now we talk about the most important task. Remember the 5 p.m. panic when I freak out at the end of the day thinking all I did was react to other people's requests of me all day long and I didn't do the most important things? Well, this is when we write down the most important things. Now you might so a lot of times I just jot down 10, 20 things. I might have all these tasks and then I slowly pray through them. I say, what's the most important one? Or have I overlooked any? God, give me wisdom here. And so then I finally land on a few most important tasks. Those things that if I win these things, if I accomplish these things, I accomplish my day. I've now stacked myself. I'm setting myself up to win, to start from that starting point tomorrow. I've been successful, and you'll start to see over time success increasing and growing because I've stacked it. And because I have been successful yesterday sets me up to be successful today. So my most important task, some people call these the MITs. Some people say you should only have one. And when I map out my top 3, I write them down, I star them in my to-do list, and then I pray through them. This is where I've noticed a lot of people talk about your most important tasks, but as a believer in God and as a follower and a son of the true high king, I've got the Holy Spirit inside of me. And so I can actually tap into a supernatural power that's beyond me. And a power that is for me, that wants me to accomplish these things, that wants me to be fruitful and thrive. And so I can start to go through them and I can start to ask for things like wisdom. I can say, God, one of my MITs today is to send this project proposal. I know that at the end of the day, if I send this project proposal to this client, that's a big success, both for my commitment to myself and it sets us up for success as a company. Now, a lot of times I might need wisdom. I might not know how much should I charge? How much should I estimate this? Should I even take this project? Is this going to be a good client? Is there a good relationship here? I might be on the fence, which oftentimes that will stall me, and then I'll be paralyzed, and I won't send that proposal for 1 day or 2 days or a week or 2 weeks. And by the time I send it, the opportunity window is gone. So asking for wisdom is huge when we write down and pray through our task. Also asking for favor through man and God, asking for God's favor over those tasks, asking for fruit and not toil. When you know you've got a task that just needs to be done, I just ask for fruit and not toil. Also, and then lastly, I always ask for courage. All right, often forget, but on my best days I ask for courage because half the time I know what I need to do. The favor is there, the door is there, I just have to walk through it and I just have to do it. And so asking for courage can be huge to carry out the actions that I know must be accomplished. And so my challenge for myself and for you is in that first time when we officially start the actual work part of our day, to pick that MIT, whatever that is. It might be more prayer. It might be a physical task that's not online. Or it might be responding to an email or sending that proposal. But to do that most important task, that one thing, do it first. Before I get into my inbox and before I get into everybody coming at me asking for something, I do that one thing so that I don't have that 5 p.m. hangout. So that I don't have that 5 p.m. panic. All right, so number 9 is to accomplish my MIT, my most important task. Go get it done. It might take an hour, 2 hours. It might be a huge one that's multiple weeks. Well, I try to break it down and do a small piece of it so that I'm making progress towards it. All right, and now number 10, have a plan. You'll notice that all of these things are starting in the morning before I check my inbox and before I go into that reactive state. All of these things, which means I need time, which means I need to get up early, which means I need to go to bed early. If I stay up till midnight, 11 o'clock even, drinking beer, hanging out with my friends, if I stay up late, eating food, just vegging out online, that is not setting me up for success. There's no way I'm gonna win that battle, that first promise of not snoozing and getting out of bed and getting a workout in and a cold shower. All these 10 things, writing them down. You might have 10, you might have 2, you might pick 2 of these to do. You might have 20 more, but write them down. Make a promise to yourself and commit to it. Pray through that and go for it. But have a plan and have it planned out so that you know what time to set your alarm so that you're actually making a real promise. If you like this routine and you want a little bit of help with it, I've created a printout and it's available on my website. You can download it, print it out, put it up on your wall and have it front and center so you don't forget. You can find it at going to my website at marktiterman.com/goodmorning. If this video has been helpful, please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let's dialogue. Let's keep this conversation going. You guys are awesome. Talk to you soon. Peace out.